News Updates is brought to you by
Sadolin, color your world. Trusted and admired for generations.
Hello and good afternoon. This is NTV. Time for us now to have a look at the headlines ahead of our NTV at One bulletin. The Electoral Commission sets date for Buburo County to replace embattled Tony Kipoi as plans for Kampala mayoral elections also take off. A note in our interests, women activists call for a review into the Anti-Pornography Act. Also coming up, at least 59 students hacked and banned by Boko Haram fighters in Nigeria. These are more stories will be coming up on top of the hour shortly when we bring you NTV at One in full with me, Malcolm Sima.
Help your walls withstand extreme weather conditions with WeatherGuard only from Sadolin. You need to choose the right company. Sadolin, color your world. Trusted and admired for generations.
NTV, turning on your world.
The impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kobe, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable leaps are the most well-known feature of the impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, rub scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual maturity at 1 year and the male at 1.5. Gestation period is 6 to 7 months. In East Africa, young impalas are born all year round, but birth peaks usually coincide with the rains. The young are suckled for 4 to 6 months. The males will not be mature enough to hold a territory until they're 5 or 6 years old. Impala have a lifespan of 12 years.
With a body weight of up to 2 tons, the hippopotamus rivals the white rhinoceros as the second largest living land animal. It averages 3.5 meters long and 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder. Its name means river horse and it's semi-aquatic, inhabiting rivers and lakes in the grassland portions of sub-Saharan Africa. The hippopotamus is recognizable for its enormous barrel-shaped hairless body, big broad head and stubby legs. Even though it's a bulky animal, a hippo runs almost as fast as a human at 30 miles per hour. It's brownish grey on top with a light pink color underneath. The hippopotamus has its ears, nose and eyes positioned on top of its head so it can remain submerged and still monitor what's going on around it. A hippo spends most of its day lazing in the water with its top exposed and occasionally basking on a sandbar. When it submerges, it closes its nostrils and ears so water won't get in. It emerges every 4 to 6 minutes to breathe. The process of surfacing and breathing is automatic, and even a hippo sleeping underwater will rise and breathe without waking. Hippopotami live in herds with the largest pods of up to 100 animals, with one dominant male presiding over a stretch of the river. The hippopotamus is herbivorous and nocturnal. It comes out of the water at night to graze and can eat up to 68 kilograms of vegetation in one night. Female hippos reach reproductive prime at 5 to 6 years of age, while males at around 7.5 years. Mating takes place in the water, with the female submerged for most of the encounter. Hippos have a gestation period of 8 months. The female hippopotamus will go off by herself to have her calf. She will then stay away from the herd for anywhere from 10 to 44 days. A hippo's lifespan is typically 40 to 50 years.
NTV, turning on your world.
I normally tell my cleaners that you cannot be a very good cleaner unless you have interest in cleaning. There are people who do cleaning because they have no alternative. Those ones are there. But you first of all, you must have an interest that I like the job I'm doing. One. It also an urge to know that you need to improve on this service industry.
Many a time, we tend to pass opportunities that are close to us in the hope that the grass may be greener on the other side. It is this belief that has seen Ugandans from all walks of life focusing on assumed opportunities abroad and stay blind at many opportunities back home. Bernard Mpire believes he overcame this complex. Despite his education, he prides himself as a professional cleaner and car washer.
Sometime back in 2008, we started up a cleaning company. But this cleaning company was virtually for cleaning offices, homes, hospitals, banks, and any other business setup apart from car wash. Now with time, we realized that the customers were bringing up this idea of car wash, especially offices, and we did not have this facility. So we realized that we needed this facility to add up car wash to the normal cleaning of offices and homes.
It does not take a lot of thinking for one to start and run a car wash, explaining why the business is susceptible to duplication, meaning anyone can do it. Bernard, however, maintains that the winning formula is to bring on board unique values.
Rest of the car wash. As you can see, we had to do a lot of things to dress up these guys, to make sure that we beautify the place, to put very good toilet facilities, to work on our drainage, and to make sure that our customers are very comfortable, and to make sure that the services that we render, the customer goes out when he's very comfortable.
To Bernard, the key attribute that draws a clear distinction among businesses is the additional support one extends to his or her clientele.
We also offer specific advice on how your car condition is. For instance, I can tell you that someone will bring a car at the car wash when it needs fumigation, but unless someone is told that, look, your car needs fumigation, someone will not ask for that service.
But how does this business really work?
It's not a bad business because the capital input is not so much as if you are going to buy the goods. The capital input compared also to what you get out in terms of the cash benefits is much more compared if you are selling goods. And you know, you are not having this business of saying that I'm looking at the goods the whole day, nobody has come entered your shop to buy something. This is a business, it is like a hospital. The cars are in town, they must be washed.
Additionally, Bernard shares with us the categorization of car cleaning services rendered, which he says form a basis of his pricing system.
Normal wash, that means that you are going to work on the body of the car and dusting interior and maybe polishing the dashboard and polishing the body car. That's called normal wash. We've got the engine wash where you've got to do the engine on top of the body. We have also got the buffing, car buffing. You know, where the cars have got scratches and what, then you've got to go an extra mileage to remove those scratches. But then there is full package. Full package is where you remove the seats, remove the carpets, do the hooving and put back everything.
And what are some of the other attributes that one needs to make it in this business?
First of all, it needs interest. I normally tell my cleaners that you cannot be a very good cleaner unless you have interest in cleaning. There are people who do cleaning because they have no alternative. Those ones are there. But you first of all, you must have an interest that I like the job I'm doing, one. It also an urge to know that you need to improve on this service industry.
Bernard says that his business philosophy is highly grounded on diversification because he believes that spreading the risk is good for sustainable business.
We have started, we intend to put a restaurant, as you've seen. We have started by, much as we have not built the restaurant, we have started by providing a small service. We give tea, we give katogo, we give chigere. We have also tried to make sure that we provide a shed for now and the seats where the customers can sit comfortably as they wait for their cars.
Even with these strategies, Bernard's business has not been immune to challenges that many businesses in Uganda today are contending with.
We are facing a challenge of high water bills and power bills, fluctuation of power and also fluctuation of water sometimes. So you have got to depend on the reservoir. Then we also have challenges of a few customers who are hard. A customer may come from out when he has lost a wheel cap and he will think that his wheel cap has been stolen from the washing bay. So it is up to you to prove to the customer that actually he came without a wheel cap. So those are some of the small challenges.
And the challenges aside, he believes that today he has mastered the dynamics of the business to a point of making safe predictions on the day's operations. This, he says, is a virtue critical for all business people.
Yeah, basically this business makes money almost every day, but the cars that appear every day are different. They are bad days. For instance, Monday is a good day. We don't know what happens on Monday. Maybe people come from villages over the weekend. Tuesday is a bad day. Wednesday is a bad day. Now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are very good days. Then Sunday is also a bad day, maybe because people tend to stay at their homes.
And for those intending to venture into this line of business, Bernard has a word of counsel.
The best for local investors, one, people should look at the integrity of the workers they have. That's the most important thing. They should also look at the cleanliness of the facility itself, especially the toilet facility. Then most of the people who bring their cars to the wash, they are not looking at only the car wash. Some people come to do to have other services done. For instance, someone will come to have a cup of coffee to do the washing. Someone will come to cut the nails to do the washing. So a washing bay does not necessarily exist on its own. It has other components that people look for. For instance, shoe polish. Someone will say, can I polish my shoe there as they wash my car? So you've got to improve this service industry that it can accommodate much more other services.
Many people had started kindergartens, but they didn't have enough land. Most of the kindergartens are on a very small piece of land, 25 decimals. The buildings eat up 75% of the ground. There is no playground. So when I got this land, and it's big enough, 3 acres, I said, no, let me start a kindergarten that can beat the standards.
NTV, turning on your world.
With Uganda's fast-growing young population, business opportunities are opening up in every corner of the city. This growth has brought with it pressures of contending with long distances and traffic. With such pains, the search for better services was bound to happen. This is what propelled Andrew Maviri to venture into the education business, specializing mainly in daycare for children.
We have a lot of traffic jam on Ginger Road, like many roads leading to Kampala. And not so many people are willing to invest in the countryside. I have a love for children, so I decided to do something that would be of standard in the countryside. That's why I came up with Zeta Forest Kindergarten. Many people had started kindergartens, but they didn't have enough land. Most of the kindergartens are on a very 5 decimals. The buildings eat up 75% of the ground. There is no playground. So when I got this land, and it's big enough, 3 acres, I said, no, let me start a kindergarten that can beat the standards of Kampala, such that people don't have to trek looking for good things in Kampala when they are leaving the good things in the countryside.
But tapping into this business sector is not an easy feat, and trusting anyone with someone's children needs lots of confidence and trust. I asked Maviri how he negotiated this step.
What do the parents want? Number one is the cleanliness. Once your facility is clean and it has children facilities like the toilets, not so many people think about children's toilets, but children's toilets exist. Once you have the toilets set, toilets are very clean, their play area is clean, the environment, instead of being in buildings all the time, we have a garden, it's 1 acre. In case it's too hot, we shift to the gardens. We have a swimming pool. We swim, we teach the young ones how to swim. We have a Sunday area, and those are the requirements, by the way, of the ministry. You must have a Sunday area. We have a Sunday area, it's big enough. So when parents come, they see the way you treat them. You employ professional people, professional teachers, which we have, and you employ mothers.
But to start with, what are some of the legal instruments that one needs to submit to government before setting up such a business?
The ministry doesn't require much when it comes to the kindergarten. You must have recommendations from the area where you are. You must have a professional staff and their papers which you file in. You must have those 3 areas. The toilets, the facilities must be very good. You must have a green area, but not so many people have it. And you must have a sandy area. You know, the children 3 to 6 years, their brains develop through play.
Working this kind of business runs around childcare. Services offered here, such as feeding, are executed to the letter.
We give our children 2 meals a day. At 10:30, we give them soya porridge with milk, and we change. We have a timetable. On Monday, we give them a boiled egg. On Tuesday, we give them a donut. Wednesday, we give them a chapati. Thursday, we give them popcorns. And Friday, we give them pancakes, kabalagala. That is breakfast. We change. You can't give the children porridge every day for 5 days. Sometimes we give them dry tea and milk, soya porridge. Then when it comes to lunch, our children enjoy our meals so much. I'll start with the best meal they enjoy, which we serve on Friday. On Friday, we serve them with chips and sausages. That is what they have for lunch.
Capital intensive as it is, Maviri says to start this business, he has been operating on loans to date. This, he says, has helped him put up a standard and admirable childcare.
Ugandans are demanding better today. Ugandans today are moving in that era. They've stopped taking children for granted. They want their children to have, and we work with banks. I work with the Centenary Bank. They facilitate this school. Whatever I need, they give me. What is important is to pay back in time.
He also says that he employs quite a number of careful, hand-picked professionals to run the childcare.
We have teachers, we have drivers, we have cooks, we have nannies. You know, each van is accompanied by 2 nannies. Because when these children are going back, some of them fall asleep in the afternoon. So they sleep in the van, you know. So when you reach home, the kid is asleep, you don't wake him up. You just lift the baby and take him to the house. So we have those nannies.
This entrepreneur also says that for now, focus is on building and sustaining his business.
I don't intend to go primary because the concentration changes. Normally, if you are when you go top primary, if it is P1, P2, P3, that is fine. After kindergarten and P1, P2, and P3, a kid can very easily be taken to boarding school. That is okay. But after P4, the concentration comes more in academics. So you cannot mix these young ones with the hard stuff, the hard academic stuff.
Maviri also says that businesses of this nature encounter a host of challenges.
The fees defaulters. At times the parents keep on promising up to the end of the term, and next time they don't come back. For example, last time we closed the school when we had a debt of over 8 million. We lost most of those parents. They are there watching, but we lost them. So when they come, when they take debts, at the end of it all, they don't pay back.
I asked Andrew what really inspires other parents like him to bring their children to his kindergarten.
One of my daughters, she's in Taiba Junior today, Taiba International. She was one of the pioneers here. She's called Andriana Maviri. My other daughter is here. She's called Annabella Maviri. She started here right from baby class. She's now P1.
Maviri attributes his success to God and the effort invested in putting up this establishment going forward.
Without God, nothing can go on. Then you also have to work hard. The Baganda said, as you ask God to help you, you also have to work very hard. You have to deny yourself so many good things. For 4 years, I've not had a car of my own.
NTV, turning on your world.
You're watching NTV.
Tonight on NTV.
Is that you? It's me, your brother Max.
I want to have a family with you. I want you.
Rafa!
I want to hear it from you. Just tell me to my face that you killed my mother.
You're going to call your grandmother again, and I'll tell you exactly what you're going to say.
Tonight on NTV.
Street Live in association with Reham Cola. Taste it, believe it.
Nze Yasini Bulunda ntunda masimu omulimu guno ebbanga lyengumazeemu emyaka 12. Omulimu guno nnyabo ngufunyemu ebirungi bingi olumusiti okugeza osobodde okufunamu amaka kufunyemu properties zange nnyingi nnyo ekitone nnyo mukawa bakusaasidde okola okusinziira kati ku mbeera ya situation eriwo ensangi zino osobola okulisiivinga almost emitwalo gyo nga 7.
Reham Cola. Taste it, believe it.
And the change of government won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals setting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say they're shortly. Me, I'd be looking to sell. At what price? More. Much, much more. I don't know who you are or how you know these things, but one thing I'm sure of, you're in the wrong job. Here, call me tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to hear more from you.
Are you ready for your big break? The East African, understanding the region.
NTV, turning on your world.
And good afternoon. This is NTV, and you're welcome to NTV at One. My name is Malcolm Simi. Let's start with the headlines right away.
We are preparing on the basis of the court orders.
The Electoral Commission sets date for Buburo County to replace embattled Tony Kipoi as plans also for Kampala's mayor elections take off.
The law says that it is representation of sexual parts of a person.
Not in our interest, women activists call for the review of the Anti-Pornography Act. Also coming up, at least 59 students hacked and banned by Boko Haram fighters in Nigeria. This is NTV at One. The Election Commission has started preparations for the by-elections of Buburo West to replace Tony Kipoi. The elections are slated for the 10th of April, and over 400 million shillings will be used for this election. The Commission Chairman, Badru Chigundo, has also said that preparations to conduct another by-election for the 4 rebel members of Parliament are underway after confirming that he received a letter from the Constitutional Court. By-election for Kampala's mayorship to replace Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago is also in the offing.
The Electoral Commission has therefore approved the electoral program for the by-election of Member of Parliament for Buburo County West, when the former Member of Parliament, Honorable Kipoi Tony Nsubuga, or Mamba, was found in contravention of the rules of procedure of Parliament, Rule 101, Sub-Rule 10, by missing more than 15 sittings of Parliament after the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline for members of Parliament was handled through the Constitutional Court. And the Constitutional Court issued its orders, and the Electoral Commission received a copy of the orders. So what I want to assure you is we are preparing on the basis of the court orders. We'll call you when the appropriate finalization of the program is ready.
Women activists and sympathizers want sections of the Anti-Pornography Act that quote indecency revised. They say this is a reason why women are being harassed. They are also seeking for clarity as to what exactly the law stipulates.
Let me give you a scenario that happened to me just yesterday. I was dressed in loose jeans and I ended up going to the park. A man touched my buttocks and this is what he said. That means this person looks tasty. I was fully dressed according to what the law states as decent. But this person had the boldness to touch my buttocks and state that I was tasty. Don't you think that is harassment? This violence is escalating. This is just the beginning, and unless we stand up and talk about it, we are going to get into worse situations. If the case was really based on the way we are dressed, then I don't think we would have very high rape cases in India. I do not think the women who are wearing burqas in Egypt would actually have experienced violence, because these women are covered from head to toe. So our law should stop from focusing on the way women are dressed and start getting on with the real issues. The real problem ain't how long or how short my skirt is. The real problem here is in the mind.
A man identified only as Eddie was this morning arrested by police as he tried to run away. He apparently borrowed money from DFCU Bank for the Youth Livelihood Program but failed to pay up. He has been taken for questioning.
Yes, mukwate bulungi. Yes?
What's happening?
He's a thief.
He's a thief?
Yes.
You were a thief. Listen. Just go.
Come.
You know. Hey, that's enough. Eh? You want to capture a whole video?
He stole from Kezia, he came to us, solicited money, he stole it, he went to DFCU, he borrowed money and he used one of our staff as, I work with Barclays, he used one of our staff as a guarantor. He stole money from DFCU, the youth fund. Today I got him. I told him, you come and we talk. Instead, he ran through the golf course and I followed him because he doesn't know I'm a sportsman. Here I am, I've arrested him and I want justice to take its course.
A new report by Save the Children shows that Millennium Development Goal number 4, reducing child mortality, may not be achieved for many countries. Emphasis is not given to the need for mothers to receive assistance within the first 24 hours after childbirth. In 2012 alone, globally, 1 million babies died within the first 24 hours of their lives. And the advantage Uganda has, however, is that if it has been adopted, the simple, inexpensive technology, which has helped reduce tremendously on child death in the past 10 years.
We have a report that's been published by Save the Children where we looked at a number of different countries to see how they're doing in reducing infant mortality and how they're doing with newborn.
While reducing maternal mortality may seem hard for the country in this 1 year, what could be easy is reducing the child deaths. And this is just by using simple technology, which has been introduced in many parts of the country now. Like here in Nakaseke, about 20 babies used to die in a month. But right now, in a month they may register no death, or at most 2 deaths only.
Save the Children came in to help us. They came up with interventions like helping babies breathe, that is HBB, and kangaroo mother care.
Where you put the newborn right up against the mother to take the heat from the mother. This doesn't cost anything. Uganda's done very, very well over the last few years, and the Ministry of Health, the government is very serious about this. We're almost close to reaching MDG 4. But I think that the major lack is that only 58% of the women in Uganda have skilled assistance when they give birth.
If we could get an ambulance, then that would work for us. Why? Because we are not losing many, as I said, but some mothers are dying there in the villages because, as you know, mothers have the tendency of delivering with the TBAs.
Moving on, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Aronda Nyakarima, has received the machines that will be used for National ID project. The Electoral Commission says the cards will help them deliver free and fair elections in 2016.
There will be the National Voters Register extracted from that data. That's where we are involved. We are part of the agencies that collect citizens of data, and we are working together under the leadership of the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
That's the purpose of Guaranteed. That's the ownership levels, that one. He leads the technical team, and they interacted with the supplier, and they gave them a certificate of acceptance. They are up to the job for which they were purchased.
Now, members of the Acholi Parliamentary Group say they are planning to introduce a motion in Parliament calling for the secession of the Greater North. The lawmakers urge that since the National Resistance Movement government took over power in 1986, the North has been greatly marginalized, and they say funds allocated by government are often embezzled.
Consulting since that time quietly, and I'm telling you, this is the fear of most people in northern Uganda, that we should really have a secession where we can go and start our own country. The boundary will be on Karuma. We shall use the electricity from there. and then our oil resources and the other minerals.
Right now we are calling for, it would be better if we form our own country. We started this one quite early. We need the government. We need to present the motion in the floor of Parliament.
The government introduced NUSAF, actually not government, but World Bank gave Northern Uganda $100 million. That was NUSAF 1. But whatever happened with the NUSAF 1, if you are to go on the ground, you will not find any trace.
Go further and consult widely now and openly to the people of Northern Uganda for that consent. We are going to seek leave of Parliament to move this motion, and we proceed to prepare the grounds for secession.
Let's now take a short break. NTV at One Good News with more stories shortly after this.
Theft can not only cause destruction of properties and power outages, but can also lead to death.
This is today's Umeme outage report.
Speak up and report power theft. It's a crime and affects everyone. Let's unite against power theft and save lives.
Harris International Limited, the manufacturer of Reham Fountain, Reham Cola and Reham WhatsApp, informs every customer that the price of our 320 milliliter bottle has now been reduced from 1,000 to 800 shillings. Yes, for only 800 shillings, you can have a drink that's made for you. Remember, our 500 milliliter bottle is now only at 1,200 shillings. Reham, proudly Ugandan.
Coming soon on NTV. Many generations ago, the warrior Apoena from the Karaway tribe fell in love with young Antonia. When they returned to the Araguaia River with the young white girl carrying their child, they awoke Iaru's hatred. Raised away from the curse, Solano Rangel, the last descendant of Antonia and Apoena, returns to uncover his roots, but he couldn't resist Estella's charm. But she keeps a secret in the past. Estella. Her real name is Estrella Karu. And her destiny is to fulfill the curse. Destiny River. Coming soon on NTV.
Showgas, clean, safe, user-friendly with distinct features that assist the customer smell any leaks. Gas and cylinders now available at all points of sale at an affordable price. Welcome back. This is NTV at One, and let's start with a story now from Lira. Police have recovered over 30 motorcycles suspected to have been stolen from Kampala, Gulu, Arua, Jinja and Soroti. Over 20 suspected thieves were arrested in the operation.
We managed to apprehend over 20 suspects.
North Choga Regional Police spokesperson Manshur Suwed says among the 20 men arrested, some had bought the stolen motorcycles. They were found with the motorcycles, but without driving permits and logbooks.
These motorcycles, we suspect, were stolen from areas of Kampala, Jinja, Arua and Gulu.
those whose motorcycles were stolen from the districts of Gulu, Jinja, Arua, Kampala and Soroti have been asked to come with the logbooks as proof to get their motorcycles back.
We call upon members of the public in the areas mentioned to come and identify these motorcycles.
Some of the motorcycles now bear fake number plates, while others have had the number plates covered in mud to disguise them. The motorcycles were recovered from Agweng Sub-County, Lira Municipality and Oyam. They were being used for boda business.
Now, in an attempt to alter the current situation where the investment climate in the country has been deemed unfavorable, e-licensing and registration is being looked at as a possible solution. And according to the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, since the launch of the e-licensing platform in June 2013, there has been a notable improvement within the business registrations sector, going up by 300%.
Expected to focus on activities that will reduce the burden of doing business in Uganda, dealing with registration and licensing procedures by limiting the scope of application and streamlining the issuance processes through the creation of the one-stop shop for registration and business licensing that will enable accessibility online. We've been able to, for example, improve the turnaround time for business registration from previously 30 days, and today we are able to do a business registration between 1 to 3 days. But we want to ensure that this can be done even in less than 6 hours.
On the international scene, Boko Haram fighters killed at least 59 people as they slept in an attack on a boarding school in Nigeria's troubled northeast. And the attackers reportedly targeted only male students and spared girls at the Federal Government College. Gunmen hurled explosives into residential buildings, sprayed gunfire into rooms and hacked or burned some students to death.
Yesterday's attack bore the hallmarks of a similar attack last September in which 40 people died. Yobe has been one of the hardest hit areas in Boko Haram's 4.5-year uprising, which has killed thousands of people.
It was unfortunate that up to the 4-hour period or 5 hours of killings and massacre, there were no any security men around to contain the situation.
Farther afield, the U.S. President Barack Obama has told his Afghan counterpart Hamid Karzai that he is preparing a contingency plan to withdraw all U.S. troops as a post-2014 security pact remains unsigned. The message delivered yesterday, however, did not rule out making a deal on a post-2014 mission with the next Kabul government. Obama told Karzai by telephone that the Pentagon had little option but to draw up a contingency plan for a full withdrawal because the Afghan leader had refused to sign a bilateral security agreement with Washington. The U.S. has been pushing for legal immunity for its soldiers and contractors, a point resisted by Karzai. In case of no deal, the U.S. has indicated that it will go for a zero option, as it did in Iraq, leaving Afghan forces to battle the Taliban on their own. The U.S. wants to keep up to 10,000 troops in the country to train and mentor the Afghan National Security Forces and go after the remnants of Al-Qaeda.
Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of sports. David Moyes saw his side crash to the brink of a humiliating Champions League exit last night and admitted it was the worst they have played in Europe. And Borussia Dortmund proved their attacking quality in Russia against Zenit St. Petersburg to give them every chance of appearing in the Champions League quarterfinals.
Manchester United's Champions League campaign is in serious peril after they were comfortably beaten by Olympiacos in the last 16 first leg in Athens. United, who registered only one shot on target, fell behind when Alejandro Dominguez diverted home Giannis Maniati's effort before the break. Arsenal loanee Joel Campbell's precise shot doubled the lead, and the visitors only came to life late on.
Thought about the shot and delivers a superb goal! What a disaster for Manchester United!
Robin van Persie blazed over the top when they finally opened up the Greeks. It would have been an injustice to the hosts had the Dutchman converted his late chance. However, United's current limitations were exposed on a chastening night. Meanwhile, coach Jurgen Klopp said Borussia Dortmund had produced a near-perfect performance to leave them on the verge of the Champions League quarterfinals after routing Zenit St. Petersburg. Klopp was delighted as Borussia bounced back from Saturday's shock 3-0 defeat at relegation-threatened Hamburg in the Bundesliga to dominate Zenit. Last season's finalists raced into a 2-0 lead with goals by Hendrik Mkhitaryan and Marco Reus inside the first 5 minutes to leave the Russians reeling. The hosts pulled 2 goals back after the break as central midfielder Oleg Shatov scored, then Brazil's Hulk converted a penalty. But on both occasions, Dortmund responded almost immediately as Lewandowski scored twice to give the German side a huge advantage ahead of the second leg next month.
That's sports, and of course the Champions League round of 16 is still going on. Chelsea from England will be playing Galatasaray, and then FC Schalke 04 will be facing Real Madrid from Spain. But if you need more updates and fixtures and all the results, the transfer news, coming up next, Dakaba Chigongo, David Mansi and Aaron Darlin to bring you the latest in the world of sports, adding on to this, and they are ready, waiting for you immediately after this. But that's been NTV at One. Thank you very much for watching. You can have a good lunch.
NTV, turning on your world.
Coming soon on NTV.
Many generations ago, the warrior Apoena from the Paraguay tribe fell in love with young Antonia. When they returned to the Araguaia River with the young white girl carrying their child, they awoke Iaru's hatred. Raised away from the curse, Solano Rangel, the last descendant of Antonia and Apoena, returns to uncover his roots, but he couldn't resist Estella's charm. But she keeps a secret in the past.
Estella.
Her real name is Estrella Carule.